So I decided to compete in this mixed match tournament. So it's like classic Tetris, Tetris A type and Tetris B type, and then Dr. Mario. And there was a period where I practiced classic Tetris a lot because I was going to compete in it, but then it didn't end up happening. But I have some practice in that. But I'm not actually good at Dr. Mario really, so it's something that I wanted to practice a lot going in, so I wanted to come up with my own strategy that I could do. And at first I thought like you can't really score that high in Dr. Mario, or you can't do so efficiently. So I thought maybe it's better to just play really fast and not go for a high score. But then I was like watching some replays of tournament matches, and I saw one game where someone scored like 30,000 points, and I was like, wait, if you can do that, then it's actually it's actually worth going for, and there's actually something there. And so I was like, okay, I should probably try and see if I can figure something out. So then I came up with ideas about how I could chain and learn chain stuff and things like that. And then in this video, I was going to talk about the ideas I came up with. So, the really easy chain is that you just go from the edge and you. So, it's a bit hard here because everything's lined up evenly, but. so, so, like here, I would drop the yellows, and then I would drop reds, and then I would drop blues, and you have like space to like put another piece. So this is the really easy chain. So now I just need one more blue, and if I had space I could put another blue, but I don't have any more space. But you can make a chain like this pretty easily. But as you see, you run out of vertical space pretty fast. So that's like the limiting factor there. But if your board is really low and clear, then you can go for that. Now the second part of that is like making it two-way, so like this. So here when I clear the reds, I can go for the yellows on the left or the reds on the right. And hopefully I draw a double yellow. I don't think I'm getting it. But the idea is you can go two ways, so you can start in the middle and then you can go to the edges. So here I can make a better example of it. So I need a blue yellow and a blue red. And then I can stack on the right and stack on the left. So now I'm going for the yellows next and the reds. And then line that up, and I can do these reds, and I can do the blues. And then on the left side, I can do the reds. But double red doesn't work. So here I can go for these reds. And I'm going to run out of space. But that also, like, this is going to be a lot of points. Like, this is 26,000, and that's pretty simple. Like, so. But the key thing that I found out was that you have to, like, you don't want to make multiple connections, or you don't want to stack more than one of a single color vertically. So, like, if you have two. So if you want to be able to go two ways at once, you can't use like this stack of two because you can only put one before that. Like you can only, if you put one more, it would be three in a row, and then you can't put a second one. So here, because I put my two vials on a single blue, I had enough space to put 2 vials instead of just 1. So now I can go both ways at the same time. So now I can do this. And I can do the exact same thing here. Except I put the piece backwards. That happens a lot. So that's like the second part of the idea. And then I found out even more to it was that, so here I'm going to go for those yellows. I don't want to connect another yellow to those yellows because then I can't go both ways at the same time off of it. So I'm going to leave it as a single yellow for now. Now put the yellow red. Now the next thing is that you can make your follow-up lower by making the same overhang lower down. So here I don't have to keep going up, I can go lower like this. So now I'm doing something pretty similar, but I have a lot more space this time because of how I did it. So it's not going as high up, and now I can continue doing that, and when I get a yellow-red I can go on the other side as well. And now I have a lot of potential to clear like a huge amount. And now I just need a blue on the right side. And this, see, like this is going to be really big. That's 33,000. So the key things to this much of the strategy is that you need to start your match off of a single virus by itself, and then you want to look to go 2 ways at once, and then when you have something that's going to fall, you want to set up you want to set up an overhang that's lower. So like here the yellows are falling on the blue. I'll set up a better example. So I'm gonna clear some to make it easier. That's a lot to clear. So I'm gonna go off those blues on the right, like this, even though it's not a virus. And then I'm gonna use the blue-yellow to go left on this. But here, instead of going on top, I want to set an overhang like this, so that I can stack things on the red like this, and I don't have to go as high up anymore. And if there was I should have put that there. So in the first couple styles, I was always going really high up, but now the second on the left side, it falls from a lower point, so it doesn't fall from, you don't have to keep going up the whole time. So that gives you a lot more room to work with, and you can build things in advance so that you're not so restricted on getting a single color. So here I'll build around the red in the middle. And then the important thing to notice is that you can't have 3 connected, like you can't connect the yellows like that and then do this strategy, because there's no longer room to put another yellow in and hang it over, because it'll clear. So you have to leave it as 2 or 1 and then go for this. So like there's not really space here, but now there's space. So if I wanted to go off of these yellows and hang something, I could, because it's only 2 yellows, it's not 3. So now I can hang like a yellow and a blue, and then I can stack off the blue, and this whole column's gonna fall down, and then I can do another chain off of that. And then when I clear it, that's gonna fall, and then keep going. So there's a lot, like what I realized as I was trying to learn a lot about the game was that there's a lot of potential here and a lot of complexity. So it feels pretty deep, and I don't think I'm really, like, I feel like I'm only scratching the surface in some ways, but I didn't want to find something that's absolutely optimal. I wanted to find something that I could like execute or that I could practice and then become good at in time to compete in the tournament and do well. So that's what I went for. So that was basically the main idea of like the chaining style that I came up with. And then to close out the strategy, in order to actually use it in a match, some things that I did were like, you want to clear everything that's high up so you have more space to work with, because you don't necessarily have to like go for an optimal score, you just have to go for a score that's like good. so so here I try and clear a bunch of these reds that are way up here because it's hard to build off of them. And then I try and leave as many viruses that are low down and then do the chaining there. And you can do it off the edge like this. So here, if I want to start on the edge, it has to be 1 or 2. It can't be 3 reds connected because then you don't have space to put another red. So here I have my reds. Then I'm looking for a red yellow, but because I hung a yellow here, I can build ahead even when I don't have a red yellow. So now I'm building ahead while I'm waiting for a red yellow, and there's my red yellow. But again, I'm still building ahead. And I need 1 more yellow, and then oops, I shouldn't put that there. But I would have had a full clear. So then my idea was to clear enough of the field to get it to a state where it's really easy to make a chain off of. So like, you're not trying to chain everything for the whole round, you're just trying to get to a state where you're able to make a really big chain. And if you get lucky like this, here I got a bunch of nice colors, so I can actually make a pretty big chain just here if I get blue, yellow. So because I just got lucky and I could see I was getting all the colors I need to make this chain, then I could just make it. But I didn't want to take any risk that I didn't have to. And that's like a huge chain. But in any case, if like the colors weren't coming, I would continue to clear down until I saw a really good opportunity for a chain. So like here I just clear down a bunch and get my field a lot lower, and then try and chain from there. I can try and chain off the yellows, it's pretty high up, but it's not like crazy. Right. And then something else is like you can't have things lined up if you want to create another overhang like this, so you have to make sure they're not lined up. And then this one's not going to be, oops. This one's not going to be very good though, because, and I also messed it up. I feel like the idea is kind of straightforward, but you have to practice a lot to be able to like execute it. I actually practiced this just a whole bunch. Like it's not that easy to do. Oh, here, so something to pay attention to is when you have large stacks of viruses lined up, because that's going to be really hard to clear at once. Here I'm getting all the right colors to make this chain, so I might as well just make it. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. And then I'm doing that red overhang lower so that I don't have to go really high up. And here I'm going to go up though. And I think I have to clear. I don't know if this works. Yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna work. But it becomes really hard to clear everything efficiently when they're all stacked up on each other, so those would be the things that I focus on the most for like clearing down. So I'd look at whatever column has the most, so here the middle column has the most, so I'd focus most on clearing that first before doing anything else. So clear everything that's high up and everything that has a lot of viruses in the same column. And then once I got lowered to a point where I felt like I could make a decent chain, then I would go for the chain. Here, maybe I could go off the red, yellow. I mean, go off the red on the side. But I think it's easier to just clear. So I'm not getting a red, yellow, but I'm able to build ahead a bit. Oh. Does that work? Yeah, that works. And then just doing this is like a huge amount of points, so. But again, it's harder than it looks. It's harder than I'm making it look. I practice this a lot to make it look this easy. And another thing is by like clearing out the things that are high up and that are in a line, you don't end up in a situation where you have to like cover it up a lot. So it's easy to end up with messy chains where you're like going for a chain, but when you don't get the right colors, you just have to place the pieces somewhere. And then you end up like burying something that's like far down. Oh no, I messed up here. But you end up like burying an entire row of viruses or an entire column of viruses, and then it takes so long to clear it out that it's just you lose too much doing that. So that's why I really focus on clearing down and getting a lot lower before chaining at all. Unless I just had a perfect opportunity, like I said. But, so like if you're chaining this high up, it's tough because you run out of space a lot faster, and that makes it harder too. So there's a lot more pressure to like make your decision, because if you mess up at all, you're like probably gonna fill up, and there's less space to like throw things away. So it makes it really hard. Here again, since the blues are connected there's 3 blues, I can't hang another blue off of it. So I have to keep going up, and then that's gonna make this really tall. But off of the middle blue, if I get a blue yellow, I can hang the yellow off the edge. So if I ever get a blue yellow, then I can hang the yellow off the edge. But now I need a double yellow. And it's just not coming. Because like first I was trying to like chain all the time, and it just wasn't working out as well as like. So here's an example where if I'm trying to chain these all the way, like perfectly, I already messed up the middle column, or I already messed up a column. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to clear in that column. Now I'm messing up another column. I also need a double yellow. So that third column is pretty messy. And then that last column on the right is really messy. So even though I got a lot of points, it's going to take a while for me to clear the whole stage. And that might put me behind more than it sets me forwards, even though I got a good score. So that's why I stopped doing this, and then I really focused on like making it, clearing the board first and then chaining. Because there's only 5, or there's only 3 viruses left, but it's gonna take a while to clear. Like you have to do them all horizontally. I don't know how I'm gonna get that last blue. And now you lose so much time. That's probably not even worth it. But I think if you were really good, there's even more stuff that you could do, and you can do more complex chains, but yeah, I haven't played this game for years, so this was like as much as I could get to in like a couple weeks of really focused practice. So that's all for this idea, I guess.